Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Boss Method podcast, hosted by myself, Ritu Bra. So, for tonight's episode, this is an insight into one of our weekly educational topics for the Girl Boss Method. And so, we record this every Monday evening, and I'm just going to get to the slides, so bear with me. Today's topic is all about soy. Okay, so this is a topic that was requested by one of the ladies in the group. Ladies often come up with various different topics that they'd like me to cover. And so also that helps to keep things fresh as well. So we're not just talking about the same things all the time, although we know that there can always be another interpretation or even just like new research on a topic as well. So this was actually quite a difficult one to work through because the soy topic has pretty much been like a two-sided, okay? But we'll just break into this and just start very easily, and then I'm going to talk to you about some other common myths, etc. as well. So what is soy? Well, soy or soybeans are a legume native to East Asia and are a significant component of Asian diets. They are highly valued for their high protein content, making them a staple food for many people around the world, especially vegetarian and vegan diets. So I'm a vegan, as you know, as if I don't talk about that enough, but I am. But it's also important for you to know that, again, I do consume soy, and I have actually had soy in my diet since I was very, very young. So I remember, so as early as some of you can remember eating meat, right? And chicken and fish and what have you. Well, I've eaten soy just as long as that. So for me, at home, our dinners consisted of, we'd have a day where we'd eat beef, or we'd have pork, believe it or not, or we'd have chicken, or we'd have like a dairy-based thing like paneer, for example. And we would actually always also have tofu one of those evenings as well. So yeah, just thought I would kind of explain a little bit about my sort of background. And yeah, when I went vegan, it was pretty easy. It wasn't this new food that I had, or this new food group that I'd introduced. It was already something that I was getting enough of in my diet anyway. So it was quite easy. And this is just a nice visual for you as well. So obviously you've got tofu, you've got the soybeans themselves. We've got edamame, which is actually a young soybean. I'm guessing it might be that it's just picked earlier. Who knows? Soy sauce, miso as well. Quite often that's made from soy. And then we've also got tempeh. And tempeh is, we'll talk about tempeh in a moment actually. So just click on the next slide. Always takes me back. All right. So whole soybeans. So those are those sort of yellowy round things that we saw at the beginning, or just on the previous slide. So these can be cooked and eaten as a standalone dish and added to salads, to soups and stews. And then you've got soy products. And so with soy products, there are various different types of products that have been created or made. So you've got tofu, which is our bean curd, tempeh, which is actually fermented soya beans. And then you have soy milk. Soy milk, I don't know if you've ever seen how soy milk's made. Again, it's like boiling the beans and then you're extracting the milk that comes from the bean pulp. I don't know, I could be saying it all wrong, but there is a situation where it's how it's created. And then you've got soy sauce, soy flour as well. So you can actually, like you would have any other sort of legume flour, if you like. Even, I don't know if you guys have heard of like gram flour or garbanzo flour, which is like chickpea flour. That's, again, similar. You can have a soy flour as well. And then you have soy based meat substitutes. So for example, things that are like veggie burgers or like soya-based sausages, etc. And then we can get soybean oil. So again, this is extracted from soybeans. This is an oil which is commonly used in cooking and actually food processing in general. And then you've got, yes, your fermented soy products. So like the fermentation of soybeans produces products like miso, natto. I'm not actually sure what natto is. Soy sauce or soy sauce, which are again used in various culinary applications. Okay, so soybeans, as you know, they are rich in protein, they have fiber and vitamins. So you've got things like folate, vitamin K, vitamin C, minerals such as iron, magnesium, potassium, and antioxidants. They are also a source of healthy fats, including omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. Soybeans and soy products have been associated with various health benefits, including heart health, bone health, and reducing the risk of certain cancers. So I think I might touch on this right now, actually. So soy and cancer. So there is actually overall research largely points to soy having positive effects on preventing or slowing down cancer growth. So breast cancer studies have shown that regular consumption of soy foods can actually be protective against breast cancer. And studies also show that women who regularly include soy products are less likely to develop breast cancer compared with other women. In January 2008, researchers at the University of Southern California found that women averaging 1 cup of soy milk or about 1/2 cup of tofu daily have about a 30% less risk of developing breast cancer compared to women who have little or no soy products in their diet. However, to be effective, the soy consumption may have to occur earlier in life as breast tissue is forming during adolescence. I don't know, really, didn't really know that actually. But for example, yeah. Anyway, there's lots of good stuff here. So you've also got some stuff on prostate cancer as well, which is very interesting. So you've got the reduce the risk of spreading throughout the body as well, ovarian cancer as well. So again, a lot of it is to do with the isoflavones, which are present in soy products. They showed a lower risk of some of these cancers, etc., as well. So that's some other sort of positive notes there. Okay, so the exact amount of protein in tofu can actually vary slightly depending on factors such as the firmness of the tofu and any additional ingredients that have been added during the production. However, on average, tofu typically contains about 8 to 10 grams of protein per 100-gram serving. So that's just sort of on average. And if we think about some of the products that we have here in the UK, again, that differs. So I'm pretty sure I had some tofu earlier and I only had about 100 grams. And even within that serving, and this is the sort of difference, every brand is different. There was about 19 grams of protein within that serving, but this tofu was actually a already flavored, if you like, or seasoned tofu. So it was smoked tofu with almonds and sesame seeds. So I'm sure that actually had some effect on the protein content. If I have a look at some of the brands that we have here in the UK when it comes to our tofu products, just bear with me while I just search this. I've got MyFitnessPal here handy. Right, so for example, if we just have a look at a standard supermarket tofu, 100 grams is coming up at like 12 grams of protein which is pretty good, actually. That's pretty good. So again, it differs, right? It differs. Okay, so talking about allergens now. All right, so soy is actually one of the top 8 allergens out there. So this obviously is not great for some people that may, well, some people may experience allergic reactions to soy proteins, and symptoms can range from mild itching or hives to more severe reactions like difficulty breathing or anaphylaxis. So I actually do know somebody that does have an allergy to soy, and they would just come up in hives, for example. And then in terms of the thyroid function, there might be some concern that soy may interfere with thyroid function, especially with individuals with thyroid disorders or those taking thyroid medication. And this is because the soy contains compounds called goitrogens, which may interfere with the iodine absorption or thyroid hormone production. However, research on this topic has yielded conflicting results, and moderate soy consumption is considered safe for most people with normal thyroid production or function. So this is interesting because the iodine in a lot of people can be like iodine deficient, or even actually just like vegans, vegetarians. And so this, for example, might be where you might decide to have some foods that are naturally have iodine in. So we don't want to talk about like supplementation here. That's a conversation that you will have with like your doctor, for example, if thyroid function is an issue for you. But if not, I mean, like you get like seaweed wrap, or they like Itsu do seaweed wafer thin things. They're quite tasty. They're just nice little low calorie snacks as well, and they've got iodine in. And some like vegan multivitamins will also have some iodine in as well. I'm not familiar with the dosages on what you should be having in terms of ensuring that you have good thyroid function and iodine levels are normal, but that's where I believe it can be an issue, is I don't know whether it's a ratio or something, but just how those things interact with each other. And look, admittedly, I do not know everything, and that's another reason why this topic can be quite difficult to discuss. But yeah, there's again conflicting research, and then also it really does depend on what you experience as an individual as well, it basically in relation to this stuff as well. And I am going to have a quick look at some of these other things, because I've got a really good article here that actually a really good friend of mine wrote. And again, I'm happy to share this with anyone that would like to see it. It doesn't actually say too much on the thyroid. But yeah, anyway, I can send that over to you if anyone wants to read that. So hormonal effects. Soy contains compounds called phytoestrogens. Isoflavones are phytoestrogens, and these are plant-based compounds which can mimic the effects of estrogen in the body. So this is where it comes to that great thing of like, some people worry that consuming soy may disrupt hormone balance or have feminizing effects, particularly in men. However, the evidence regarding the hormonal effects of soy consumption is mixed, and moderate soy intake is generally considered safe for most people. So, talking about estrogen here as well, again, it's the phytoestrogens. And again, you're going to get phytoestrogens in other foods as well. And it's not just found in soybeans. So other beans. So for example, even like apples and oats and sesame seeds and flaxseed and lentils and rice and carrots and mint and ginseng and beer and pomegranates. So even if you completely avoid eating soy, you are still consuming phytoestrogens. There's not an issue with phytoestrogens It's not a bad thing. And actually the isoflavones in soy are actually powerful antioxidants as well. So there are some positive effects on that. So I think if you were having soy, and we'll talk about this in a moment as well, but if you were having soy milk in your breakfast, a soy-based cereal, and then you were having tofu for lunch with like a soy sauce, and then like a soya milk alongside it with a soya protein shake. If your whole diet consisted of soy only, then maybe that's something that you need to think about creating some more diversity in. So that's just sort of like a word of advice there. You don't want same goes for anything. You don't want your whole diet just being based around one thing. Okay. And yes, digestive issues. So some individuals may experience digestive discomfort, such as bloating, gas, diarrhea after consuming soy products. But hey, we can get that after black beans as well. So yeah, just kind of like don't worry so much about that. And I don't think anyone on this program is eating as much soy as me. And so far, I think I've been okay. So how much soy is too much soy? So moderation. As a standard serving of tofu is typically around 3 to 4 ounces, or about the size of a deck of cards. And this again can be vary based on the firmness of the tofu and how it's prepared. And then you've got tempeh. A serving of tempeh is usually around 3 to 4 ounces as well. Similar to tofu, tempeh is sold in blocks or patties, and a serving may be a quarter to a half of a standard package, depending on the brand and the size. I would probably say a serving is like 100 grams personally, for like tempeh. So for most of our tempeh products, we have them in packs of 200. Again, edamame, boiled edamame, serving is about half a cup of shelled beans, and this is roughly equivalent to the amount that you might scoop out of a small bowl. Soy milk, again, serving of soy milk is 1 cup, which again is similar to a standard of dairy milk. And soybeans, if you're consuming whole soybeans, a serving is usually 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup, depending on the recipe or the dish. Okay. So when we're thinking about these serving sizes, again, I'd say roughly 100 grams is probably about right. Yeah. So, and then when we're thinking about serving sizes and how much soy is too much, we are probably looking at 7. Oh, wow. I'm looking at an equivalent here that 7 to 18 servings of soy foods might not be a good idea. I don't think anyone's having that amount. Again, if you are, it might be worth thinking about creating some diversity in your diet as well regarding soy, and just trying to, have some alternatives as well. So you're not just relying on the one thing. So let's probably say that in terms of on a, like no adverse issues, etc., for those of you that don't have an allergy, but you're probably looking at about 3 to 5 servings of soy per day. And so what that might look like for you is like a pack of tofu, a pack of tempeh, and then maybe like a glass of soy milk. So that's what it might look for you. And that's like, per day, that should be fine. Okay. So let's have a look at some alternatives. So we've got various different like legumes, if you like. So lentils, beans, chickpeas, peas are all rich sources of protein and can be incorporated into various dishes such as soup, stews, salads, and veggie burgers. Fun fact, I'm sure you've seen it online on Instagram, TikTok, etc., but you can make tofu out of lentils, and it looks like it would taste pretty darn good. So I think some of the versions I've seen is like they've made it out of the like red lentils, and it just looks like a, you know, they boil it and smash it up or something. Again, I think they blend it after they've cooked the lentils, and then they put it in like a glass dish to solidify it, and then basically stick it in the air fryer, and there you have tofu. But lentil based tofu. So that could be an option, right? So for those of you that love experimenting with different like food options and different types, that might be one to give a go. And once you have tried it, let us know how it tastes. I think maybe I might try it as well someday. Quinoa. Quinoa is a complete protein, meaning that it contains all 9 essential amino acids. Again, we can use it in various different dishes, different ways of eating it as well. And then we've got seitan. So wheat gluten or vital wheat gluten, wheat meat. Seitan is made from gluten, the protein that is found in wheat, and it has a meaty texture and can be used in, again, various different dishes. I will probably move on to making tofu lentil or lentil tofu once I have finally made my own seitan. So that's like a running joke, really. I cannot tell you, I'm such a quick fixer when it comes to dinners and foods. I just make things like minimal stress, real quick, you know, hit the calories, hit the macros, get the protein intake in, you know, consider the fiber, etc. Get everything sorted. I'm not one to sort of make and spend hours coming up with various different recipes, but who knows? It might come someday soon. And once I do, I will surely document it. So seitan is next on the list. And then we've got nutritional yeast, or nooch. Good old nooch. So nutritional yeast is actually deactivated yeast with a cheesy flavor. And then we've got, again, various other plant-based meat substitutes. So again, they'll be made from various different plant-based ingredients. These days, you get things made out of, I don't know, various different, even peas, actually. There's a lot of pea protein stuff. What else do we have? A textured vegetable protein as well, so TVP. So there's various different ways that we can get protein. And a new one that I've tried recently are the fava bean chunks. So that's also an option. But yeah, you can make anything out of this stuff. Burgers, sausages, meatballs. I think the list is endless. And so, yeah, it's really to kind of inspire the veggies and the vegans on the programs as well, that there are options. It's not just soy only. And yeah, just to consider all the other wonderful plant food too. So just flicking through the slides, just checking that we've ticked everything off. So bear with me. Okay, so we've got our alternatives. Okay, so again, some more alternatives for veggies, let's say. The veggies have more options, of course. You guys are able to consume dairy products. So you've got your Greek yogurts, again, high in protein and versatile, can be plain, mixed with fruit, or used as a topping. And then you've also got your cottage cheese as well. So that's another dairy, you know, protein, often rich, often eaten on its own or in salads and dishes and stuff. And then you've got your milk as well, your cheese, various different types. And you've got your eggs as well. So again, eggs, you can have them in various different ways. But that's it from me. If you guys, ladies, have got any other questions, reach out to me, send me a DM, ask in the group. Let's create some conversation about this. And if you've just stumbled across this podcast and you would like to ask me to talk about any other topics, or maybe you want to talk about soy in a little bit more detail, then you can send me a DM on Instagram at Richu Brar. That's spelled RICHUBRAR. And we'll see you here next time.